Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with another Q&A. This is Season 2, Episode 9.
Yeah.
So, just getting straight into the questions. The first one comes from Vaishali Kamble, and they say, what do you think, what bronze/silver characters should have been overpowered if they were gold?
Alright, so I think we've actually sort of answered the question with a recent video where we had our breakthrough maxed out team. So the short answer is probably none of the bronzes, and I'm thinking, maybe Nightwing.
Yeah,
Maybe
Nightwing has, I think, the best
25%.
passive of any bronze, probably.
Right.
Other than potentially boosting other characters if they're gold.
But on the silvers, I think the really good ones would be Nightwing.
Because he's already better than the gold Nightwing, just passive. Not necessarily better the way he is right now. He would be better if he had the same stats.
If you look at the breakthrough stats, he's actually pretty comparable to New 52. And if you take New 52 at just 50, level 7, not augmented, I'd take, not damage and health augmented, I would take this Regime Silver Nightwing over him any day. He would be a better fighter, I think. Wonder Woman, for sure. I mean, we showed her in that team that we just demonstrated where she can do some massive damage with her passive and special. And then Regime Green Lantern. And maybe the Flash, too, actually, because he does give the speed boost that's as good as Deathstroke, Red Sun Deathstroke.
But I guess that's a little weird because you already have gold Flashes.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, there we go.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen the video, you should watch it because the battle point score that you get from that team of silvers that have been max breakthrough promotion unlocked, it's actually about the same as we would get on the current team that we're watching with Elseworld Flash and Containment Doomsday and Regime Green Lantern.
Okay, our next question comes from Christian Spring, and they say, hey guys, just wondering if you have a video or information on banking character, update, and support cards for the use of to lessen the chance of banning for those who have high, substantial amounts of power credits, and to sell for obtaining other characters and such. And they say that they have 1.2 billion credits. We asked them if their account has been suspended already, and say if it has, there's not much point. And they responded by saying that their original account was suspended, but they found a way to copy their account, and they figured they could prevent a ban on the new account by spending down their credits first.
So in a lot of ways, this is a much more... we answered some of it, actually, in comments and private messages, but it's a sort of a complicated question that comes back to the difficulty with dealing with suspended accounts. And I guess there's a few sort of important points that you have to understand in order to judge what to do, because there's no one right answer. One of the first things that makes it difficult is you can't really test if an account has been suspended without going online or logging in. I mean, you won't get... Logging or going online to play will give you the actual message, but logging in sometimes will give you the information if your power credit total and your collection, everything reverts back to the point when it was suspended.
Yeah.
So the other problem is when you take an account that's been suspended and you try to fix it and use whatever cloning methods are available or extant right now to try to make a new copy of it after fixing that one problem that you're aware of, there might actually be other things that are a problem that would trigger another auto ban.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know unless you really know what's happening in the account. And sometimes it's not even necessarily something that you've done, but stuff can happen inadvertently, like when an account bleeding, or you've got the same gear on two different characters.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
You can do all that stuff by accident.
And the one fundamental thing, too, that's not so obvious that maybe people haven't noticed, there's actually something in the account that marks it. And in my mind... Alright, so the analogy I look at is like when you play Pokemon. When you start Pokemon on Nintendo...
I'm not seeing where you're going with this. But...
they have an ID number, right? So it identifies all the Pokemon. You pick a name for what you're starting with. It has an ID number.
Oh, and then when you trade it to people...
Right.
It tells them where they came from originally.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So the account, there's something in there. We don't know exactly where it is, but there's something in the account that's exactly the same. So that when let's say you switch from one account to another account that's unrelated, it gives you a message, you want to change from this account with this many characters to this other account with this many characters. If you do that with two accounts that are related by cloning or copying, it doesn't ask you that. Nothing happens. So you can log in and out of the account, and wouldn't even realize it because nothing really changes. So it's marked. So it wouldn't be that hard if the Warner Brothers, they wanted their server to just completely ban or suspend all related accounts. It should actually be pretty trivial because there's only a spot. There's definitely a spot somewhere where the game at least recognizes the two separate accounts as being very similar.
Okay, so there we go. That's the answer. Not maybe exactly what you were hoping for, but that's how things is.
Yeah, I think those are just more sort of general points that maybe people who aren't specifically interested in your situation could benefit from understanding how suspended accounts work.
Yeah. Our next question comes from Moon Knight, and they say, "Dudes."
Oh wait, hold on. I think what he wrote was dudes.
Sorry. What are your thoughts on the new Injustice 2 cinematic trailer? There are 9 new characters confirmed. I'm just getting more hype. If the mobile version gets a big update, hopefully more Injustice 2 or CW characters.
That's like the Warner channel, the TV channel, I think, from the show, like the Flash and stuff.
Oh, okay. Sometime this month or on February.
Okay. Did you see the trailer?
I actually did not.
Okay, trailer is brilliant. The problem I think for me is that I don't actually play the console game.
It's not coming to it hasn't been announced for PC.
Yeah.
It's for consoles, and we only do PC, so unfortunately, we're not going to be playing the console version.
Well, and mobile. We also do mobile. So the graphics are amazing. It's beautiful, and I think the thing is about any kind of DC fighting game. There's already a buy-in. Even if they did it crap, it would still be good, because we've got so much invested in the characters. I've spent so many years reading DC comics, but it's not. It looks gorgeous. I'm just it's I'm hyped about it, but I know that a lot of that won't. It's not like it's gameplay video.
Yeah.
And I know that's not what it looks like. But I guess we've been spoiled a little bit too, because Injustice, compared to other free-to-play, freemium kind of games, graphics are amazing. The nuances of the play are really cool. The fact that there's that, each character has a different combo, or there's even with the same skin, or different skins of the same character, they might have a slightly different latency to their attack. And there's differences for, like, Reverse Flash, for example, can do the infinite swipe combo.
Yeah.
But the other Flashes can't do that nearly as well.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
That's a lot of complexity of play that isn't inherently obvious unless you spend a lot of time playing.
Right. So it's like a really good book, right? That pays off if you read it more often, if you
if you've read it like twice, yeah.
Right. So it's like that they're actually, the fact that there is any subtlety of the game, we've been spoiled. The graphics are great. The gameplay is really good for a mobile game. So I'm maybe unnecessarily hyped about Injustice 2 because it looks like it's potentially really good. If they're putting that much thought and work into the trailer, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Even if we lose all our progress and we have to start from
scratch. So there you go. And we should also point out, thanks Moon Knight, you're doing a lot of commenting. You're an active community user. So we see you and we appreciate your comments.
Yeah, we like you a lot.
There we go. Our next question comes from BeastlyMan94, or it's Beastly Matt and then capital N94.
There you go.
Not sure if that adds any special meaning, but who knows. And they say, please try this team. Arkham Origins Batman for Special 2, Arkham Knight Batman for Super, and Batgirl with Ra's al Ghul Scimitar for her Special 2.
Okay, so it's interesting, but we're probably not going to do that. I mean, and I could probably get into the reasons why, in terms of our approach to setting up teams. It's, at first glance, it's not a great team because it's basically an all-special team, at least the way you're describing it, even if that's not the way you play it.
Yeah.
And we've done that recently with an all-special team with Arkham Knight, Batman, Shazam, and Killing Joke Joker. But it's a difficult strategy because you can win a lot of fights, but not maybe that consistently. Because, all right, so in general, an all-specials team has problems because, one, there's a lot of special evaders, whether it's inherently built into them, like Dawn of Justice Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, Wally West now.
Injustice 2 Superman just as a blocker.
Yeah, or whether it's from gear like the Riddler's cane or Mother Box, right?
Yeah.
Riddler staff. You've got a lot of high health and high heal teams so that they can survive a special. And after they survive the special, whether it's Special 1 or Special 2, then you're out of juice, and you have to build up juice again. And building up juice means that you're going to be vulnerable to, getting beat on a little bit.
Yeah.
And also, actually, along the lines of high health, heal teams, people that are surviving. So when you've got a lot of resurrection, right? So anybody with 2 of the 4th world gear set.
And that's heal and resurrect. So that's kind of the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, so Blackest Night Hawkgirl does that for her Blackest Night teammates, and Containment Doomsday. So those are all problems for special teams.
Yeah, in Containment Suit Doomsday, a little bit more so for, like, single-hit specials.
Yeah, so if we look at your team specifically, okay, Arkham Knight Batman has a huge special 1. So if you use up 3 bars on 1 special 3, 1 super, that can be reduced in damage by as much as 49%, that seems like a waste of power to me. Where you can do 3 special 1s, and with, say, like League of Assassins Knives, the amount of splash damage you can get from that is, like, phenomenal. And then that way, so even if you're facing an invader, you do special 1 to, in case of somebody like Superman, break it, or Dawn Justice Batman, so that when he comes down, you can do this another special 1 right after that'll stick.
Yeah.
So using Batgirl for her special 2 is a bit of a waste of her special 1. It's like basically, you're giving up 2 special 1s to do 1 special 2, and she's only one of 2 cards that starts her special 1 with a stun, so she is a huge candidate for the Cloak of Destiny.
Yeah.
And so if you don't want to give Arkham Knight Batman the League of Assassins Knives, she can completely destroy a team. And just, for those linguists among you, notice I don't say decimate, even though in the common vernacular, decimate now means, totally destroying. I mean, traditionally it was like
1 in 10.
1 in 10. Roman
exactly
legions.
10%.
Right, so you punish, what is it? You punish your army by killing 1/10 of them if they lost?
Yeah.
Alright, so...
I don't know if it was they lost or if something bad happened.
Okay. Arkham Origin Batman, his special 2, it can't hit more than 1 opponent. So that's kind of bad. And Arkham Knight's Batman, obviously his super move can't hit more than 1 opponent. Batgirl's special 2 often doesn't do enough damage, so it could track over 2 opponents, but usually only kills 1.
Yeah.
So all it takes is 1 opponent card to survive to give you real trouble with that kind of loadout and that team makeup. So if you're going to try to make this team viable, the specific cards that you've got, the characters, you need to gear Arkham Origins Batman for basic damage, right?
Yeah.
I think with the power creep, he isn't the best for basic damage anymore, but he's got a quick start, short latency on his swipe combo, and between finishing and starting the next one, he's a really good juggler. He can actually juggle people who have bars of power and keep them from actually doing a special.
Which is pretty impressive.
Yeah. So you could make this team work, right? But there are maybe some better team compositions using these characters, and maybe have them on different teams so you can actually really take advantage of each of them. It almost doesn't seem worth it trying so hard to make this particular team work when they're all so good for other possibilities.
Yeah. So there you go. Our next comment, I guess, but we wanted to talk about this, comes from our multiplayer video with our 3 Superman team. And it's Simon Lee, and they say Supermen, not Supermans.
So this is interesting. I mean, it's not like we were the absolute final authority on this.
Yeah.
But it's the same reason why it's the Toronto Maple Leafs and not the Toronto Maple Leaves.
Yeah. It's because Superman is a proper noun. And so the
trademark, DC.
So the plural of man is men. But the plural of Superman as a proper noun wouldn't necessarily be Superman because it's its own word inherently.
Right.
So it might be Superman's. The problem is anywhere outside of essentially Injustice or some weird story arcs, you wouldn't get a situation where there's a bunch of them together.
There actually was. With the Death of Superman, there was all those different... There was even like the Shaquille O'Neal version of Superman coming back. So it's... we get your point, but, it's not one of those things that's so clear-cut.
And we find it funny to say Supermans.
Because we are amateur linguists. We're not linguists, but we enjoy it. Yeah.
The plural of buses is bi.
Oh,
because
Latin.
Bus is short for omnibus.
Yeah.
And the plural of omnibus is omnibi.
Alright, we're actually going over time a little bit.
Oh, so anyways.
maybe we'll just quickly answer the last question from Lloyd Banks.
Yeah, the last question is from Lloyd Banks, and they say, "Hi, nice video. We're talking about the best team on multiplayer, in my opinion."
The new Red Sun team that we just put
Yeah. This is the best team to leave on your multiplayer slots when you don't play, besides their stats that nowadays, because of the new characters, this is their only problem. Build them like that, or more defensively with more heals and health for Batman and Wonder Woman, and let their passives, mostly Green Lanterns, do the talk. And I like the way you say that. That's a good turn of phrase. Such a pain in the ass team when you play against them. Keep up the good work. And by the way, this Batman suit is so gangsta.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, absolutely some great points is that one of the best ways to judge whether a defensive team is any good is how much of a pain it is to fight.
Yeah.
And when you don't get your critical damage, the fight gets really drawn out, and that's more opportunity to make a mistake. The only character that's comparable is Arkham Knight Batman, and that's if he takes his, what is it, like, there's about a half a chance that he's going to have the no crit damage.
Yeah.
Then he's a real pain in the butt to fight. The problem really is, too, and you've addressed it with the power creep, the draw. So you're not going to get a lot of people with the matchmaker picked to fight against you.
But you're going to get a lot higher percentage of wins.
Yeah. So absolutely good points, Lloyd. Thanks
so
for commenting.
Go. Yeah, that's the end of the video. A little bit past the end of the video, I guess. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.